Okay, let's unpack this. Um, Imagine someone who just always seems to have things their way,
Yeah, like always on top, always seems to land on their feet.
always in control. They kind of navigate the world with this air of invincibility, right?
Deflecting blame, charming everyone. It's a whole performance.
Exactly. But what happens when, that whole carefully constructed world starts to crumble?
When the usual tricks just don't work anymore.
Yeah. What does it look like when they hit a wall, a real wall they just can't manipulate their way around?
It's a fascinating and often dramatic situation.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into precisely that, what it really means when a narcissist or maybe someone exhibiting those cluster B personality traits.
The ones generally involving dramatic, erratic, or overly emotional behavior.
Right. What happens when they face a major wake-up call or, hit what looks like rock bottom?
And we're drawing on some really interesting observations for this.
We are. We're drawing significant insights from a fascinating YouTube deep dive. It's titled, 5 Signs a Narcissist is Facing a Major Wake-Up Call from Luminous Star Fables.
And we'll be expanding on those key indicators with our own analysis, connecting the dots.
Absolutely. Our mission here is to help you understand the surprising signs of this kind of meltdown.
Not just what the signs are, but maybe why they happen.
And crucially, what this means for you if you happen to be navigating a relationship like this.
Yeah, because recognizing the patterns is key.
We'll explore the often subtle, sometimes pretty shocking ways these individuals respond when their typical strategies just stop working. Strategies for control, for getting that sense of importance.
And what's really fascinating, I think, is how these intense personal crises aren't just random blow-ups.
No.
No, they actually reveal these underlying patterns of behavior. They really highlight the core vulnerabilities that drive these personality types.
Okay.
We can connect these distinct signs back to that broader picture, the desperate need for a narcissistic supply.
That validation, attention, admiration they crave.
Exactly. And their insatiable need for control. Over people, over their environment, it all ties together.
Okay, so let's dive in. Here's where it gets really interesting. The first major sign, according to the source and what we often see, is a significant, undeniable loss.
And we're not talking minor setbacks here.
No, we're talking about a dramatic, maybe even public, loss of respect from others.
Or a sudden crash in their financial stability, something they can't easily hide or explain away.
Yeah, or the severing of vital family connections, maybe from their extended family or even their family of origin.
The end of a really significant romantic relationship, too.
Or even just a noticeable deterioration in their physical health or their mental health becoming visibly impaired.
These are profound blows, hitting them where it really hurts their image.
So this raises a really important question then. Why is loss so utterly devastating for these personality types, maybe more so than for others?
Well, think about it. They are inherently accustomed to things always going their way, or at least appearing to.
Right, being the center of attention, being in control.
Exactly. So when that sense of invincibility gets profoundly challenged by a major loss, that carefully crafted mask.
The persona they show the world. The saint, the victim, the hero.
That mask doesn't just crack, it shatters. And that exposure is absolutely agonizing for them.
Because people start seeing the reality.
Yes. Suddenly, other people start to see them for who they truly are, maybe for the very first time. And this can lead to significant emotional distress, anxiety, maybe even a kind of breakdown.
Because they feel utterly exposed.
Vulnerable. Imagine being seen as the life of the party, the successful one, and then suddenly finding yourself isolated. Friends pull back, family distances themselves.
That public shaming, that withdrawal of adoration.
It's a direct assault on their core identity, which is often built on that external validation.
Okay, so what does this all mean for you, the listener, if you're in their orbit?
Well, you might actually be witnessing this meltdown right now.
You might see that collective shift. Others around them visibly losing respect.
You might realize that the con, as you said, is finally up. People aren't buying the act anymore.
It can be a really confusing time, can't it? Seeing the person you thought you knew just unraveled.
And the whole social dynamic around them shifts dramatically. It's destabilizing for everyone involved.
Okay, so that's the shattering mask from loss. What comes next as things unravel?
Well, another sign we often see is a significant increase in addictive behaviors, or maybe a desperate search for intense stimulation.
And the material we're looking at highlights this isn't just about substances, right? Though that's often part of it.
Exactly. That's a key point. This desperation can manifest in all sorts of ways.
Like?
Increased drinking, sure. or an escalation in using pharmaceuticals, maybe recreational drugs,
Right.
but also drastic changes in eating habits, either eating way more or hardly anything at all.
Interesting.
Increased engagement with things like pornography, maybe gambling, or just more generally engaging in increasingly risky or self-destructive behavior.
Just chasing some kind of high or distraction.
Partly, yes. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, many narcissists will also escalate their attempts to pull you into arguments more than ever before.
Ah, the drama seeking.
Precisely. It's not just random irritation. It's often a frantic search for that adrenaline rush, the drama, the chaos, that serves as a powerful form of fuel or supply when their usual sources dry up.
So they're trying to fill that internal void.
And intense, dramatic interactions, even negative ones, can serve that purpose. You might notice them suddenly picking fights over tiny things just to generate that emotional turbulence.
Okay, so the key takeaway here for you listening is try not to be alarmed by this escalation.
Right, see it for what it is.
But also, crucially, don't get sucked into the vortex.
Exactly, don't take the bait. The material points out that many narcissists, especially in this vulnerable state, will intensify their search for people to rescue them.
Or save them, or fix them.
Yes, and this is a classic setup for codependency. Your natural desire to help can be exploited.
Pulling you deeper into their dysfunction, making you their new source of supply or stability.
It's a dangerous dynamic to get caught in.
Definitely.
Okay.
So when their gas tank of supply is running on empty, they need to refuel. And fast.
Desperately.
This brings us to the third sign. Hoovering. This term we hear a lot. What exactly is it, and why does it ramp up during a crisis?
Well, hoovering, yeah, like the vacuum cleaner is essentially their attempt to suck people back into their orbit.
Just anyone.
Pretty much anyone who has previously been a source of supply. It could be an old lover, a distant family member they suddenly remember, a former friend, anyone.
So it's not just about you, necessarily.
Not at all. Their primary motivation in these crisis moments is pure damage control.
Damage to their ego, their image.
Yes. They need to restore their fractured sense of power and, above all, secure that precious narcissistic supply.
And they don't really care who refills their tank.
Not fundamentally, just that it gets refilled by someone. The source we looked at describes them as being addicted to people.
Wow. Addicted to people.
But not as individuals with feelings. More like sources, viewing them as pawns in their self-serving game. It's calculated, even if it feels desperate.
So picture them in a car, maybe speedometer on E, sputtering.
Yeah, desperate for gas.
They'll pull into absolutely any station. Doesn't matter the brand, the quality, maybe not even the cost, they just need the fuel.
That's a great analogy. The more supply they can gather from various sources, the better they feel, especially when they're feeling exposed and losing control.
And how do they do it? The hoovering.
Oh, various ways. Sudden love bombing after silence, expressing remorse they probably don't genuinely feel, making grand promises about changing.
Or playing the victim card to get sympathy.
Absolutely. Anything to elicit sympathy and draw people back in. If you've gone no contact, you might suddenly get that unexpected text.
The thinking of you message.
Right, or a fabricated crisis, a vague plea for help. It's designed to test the water, see if you're still susceptible.
Okay, so hoovering is the attempt to suck people back in.
Yeah.
But what if that doesn't work as well as they hoped?
Or even sometimes alongside the hoovering.
Right.
You might notice an increase in smear campaigning. And this tactic is particularly nasty.
Yeah, this one feels really malicious.
It is. It involves intentionally lying more about people, spreading really damaging rumors, gossiping incessantly.
Just generally talking about others like a dog, as the source put it, viciously maligning them.
And this behavior really intensifies when the narcissist feels they're losing their pawns.
People they can no longer manipulate or control.
Exactly. If someone has gone no contact, if they've set firm boundaries, or if they just can't be bullied anymore,
They become the enemy.
instantly, they become an enemy in the narcissist's mind. And the narcissist will then try to demonize them to anyone who will listen.
And they often recruit others to help. The flying monkeys.
Yes, they manipulate and charm others into spreading their distorted narrative or doing their dirty work. Or they rely on remaining enablers to chime in and validate their victim's story.
So it's a strategic way to replace the supply they lost from that person.
Right, by attacking the person who withdrew it, they try to diminish their credibility, paint them as the problem, and protect their own tarnished image.
So if you've managed to maintain no contact and you start hearing these awful stories about yourself circulating.
It's actually, strangely, a sign that you're succeeding. It shows they're losing control over you.
And their manipulation tactics aren't working on you anymore. Maybe not on others either.
It often signifies a desperate lashing out. It comes from that inability to regain power over you.
Okay. Beyond targeting people directly with hoovering or smears, the source also reveals that narcissists often become, and I like this phrase, dead thirsty for more third-party situations. This isn't just about finding another romantic partner, is it?
No, and this raises a really important point about the nature of supply itself. It shows how multifaceted it can be.
Okay.
A third party for a narcissist isn't exclusively another person. It can absolutely be a place or a thing.
Like what?
It could be alcohol or substances becoming an escape. It could be their job becoming all-consuming.
Throwing themselves into work.
Completely. Or their money, focusing on status and acquisition. A new hobby they become utterly obsessed with. Even an online community where they can dominate or get attention.
And they use these third parties. How?
Well, they'll often try to hoover multiple people back in, not just one target, but they'll also introduce these third-party elements to triangulate everyone.
Triangulate. Setting up competition.
Exactly. Setting up competition for their attention and validation, pitting people against each other, or even pitting people against things.
Did you give an example?
Sure. They might constantly talk about how demanding their career is, implying it's more important, more fulfilling, provides them with more validation than you ever could.
Making you feel like you're competing with their job.
Or they might suddenly develop this intense, all-consuming passion for, say, cycling or gaming or whatever, and they use it to justify ignoring you or others.
So it feels like you're competing with a bike for their time and attention.
Precisely. It's a way to make you feel less important, keep you off balance, and maintain control by diverting energy.
Wow. This is why practicing those personal boundaries is just so vital, isn't it?
Absolutely critical for your own well-being. The source emphasizes that while they can't literally take your energy like a vampire,
Right.
they can most certainly extract from it. They drain you. And these triangulations, these constant induced competitions, are a prime example of how they do it subtly.
Recognizing that dynamic helps you disengage, helps you stop playing their game.
Exactly. Don't compete with their job or their hobby. See the manipulation for what it is.
Okay, this next sign is maybe the most unexpected one. It reveals the true depth of their desperation. The source talks about a narcissist experiencing a state like spiritual jail.
Yeah, that's a striking term.
What does that even mean in the context of their crisis?
What's fascinating and frankly a bit disturbing here is the sheer desperation involved. The source material describes narcissists in this state maybe suddenly praying intensely, meditating.
Okay, that sounds potentially positive.
But wait. Or even engaging in what might be considered occult practices. Things like sex magic, divination, maybe dabbling in dark arts, or various forms of black and white magic.
Whoa. Seriously, why?
Well, from a psychological perspective, this likely isn't about genuine spiritual growth or seeking enlightenment at all.
No.
It's more likely a desperate, probably quite distorted attempt to exert control or manipulate circumstances to their advantage using any means necessary.
Trying to leverage some kind of higher power.
Exactly. But for a very self-serving, manipulative outcome, what the source calls a low vibrational goal.
Like forcing someone to come back to them.
Like trying to supernaturally hoover people back in, secure that narcissistic supply through mystical means because earthly ones are failing.
And what happens when these prayers or rituals don't work immediately?
Well, they might lash out with intense narcissistic rage tactics, furious that the universe isn't obeying them. Or they might try to gaslight others, maybe claiming their actions were justified or that you somehow interfered or are responsible for their spiritual efforts failing. It's another extreme form of externalizing blame and trying to maintain control.
The source used that image, didn't it? The narcissist acting like a perfect saint in church on Sunday, but then exhibiting really malicious, manipulative behavior the rest of the week, turning up on the devil energy, as they put it.
It perfectly illustrates that profound lack of self-awareness. They genuinely might not see anything wrong with asking a higher power to help them manipulate someone back into their control.
It's like the ends justify any means, even supernatural ones.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? And in their crisis, they fully embody that motto, no matter how contradictory or hypocritical it looks from the outside.
It's a really clear indicator of how fundamentally self-centered their worldview remains,
Right.
even when they're supposedly hitting rock bottom.
Absolutely. Everything still revolves around their needs and desires.
Okay, so we've seen these signs of hitting rock bottom. But if we connect this to the bigger picture, what happens after? Is there any hope for change?
This is crucial to understand. When a narcissist truly hits rock bottom, and we're talking a genuine, undeniable crisis, there's a fork in the road.
Right.
A very, very small percentage of them might choose to move up or ascend, as the source puts it,
Right.
meaning they might genuinely seek help, professional counseling, intensive therapy, maybe engage in what's called shadow work, that deep psychological process of facing and integrating the unconscious parts of yourself, the suppressed stuff, the traumas, the unwanted traits.
They might actually see the writing on a wall and recognize their destructive patterns.
Possibly. It requires immense courage and a willingness to face painful truths.
But you said a very small percentage. That sounds like the rare exception, right?
Yeah.
Especially for someone lacking self-awareness to begin with.
Unfortunately, yes. It's exceedingly rare. The vast majority will likely choose to stay in that low state, or often sink even deeper.
So, no epiphany.
Usually not. They'll often just double down, continue seeking even more supply, more drama, perpetuating those negative patterns. It's like a karmic cycle, repeating the same harmful behaviors because they haven't learned or refused to learn from them.
And the core reason is?
They often don't genuinely believe they have a problem in the first place. That's the fundamental barrier to any real resolution or change. If you don't think you're sick, you won't seek medicine.
So they won't see the light or break out of those cycles.
Because they lack that crucial, often painful self-awareness that's absolutely necessary for genuine transformation. They'll just keep blaming others, justifying their actions, externalizing all that internal chaos.
Okay, so this raises a really important question for you, the listener. Understanding this dynamic, this low probability of change, it really helps you manage your own expectations, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And crucially, it helps you protect your own energy.
It's about recognizing you can't force someone else to see a problem they refuse to acknowledge.
You can't compel them to change. Your power isn't in changing them, it's in how you respond and what you choose for your own path forward.
Right, so wow, we've really unpacked some striking signs of a narcissist hitting rock bottom here.
It's quite a landscape.
From that devastating loss of their carefully constructed world
The mask shattering.
and those escalating addictive or drama-seeking behaviors,
To the desperate hoovering maneuvers trying to suck people back in.
the vicious smear campaigns when they lose control,
That frantic thirst for triangulation, using people and things as pawns.
and even resorting to those extreme, almost bizarre spiritual manipulations.
It paints a picture of profound desperation and dysfunction.
But the key takeaway for you, listening to all of this, shouldn't be getting lost in their drama, right?
Absolutely not. The focus needs to relentlessly be on yourself. Your own well-being, your own boundaries.
Remember that when they're in that meltdown state, they may look very intensely to you or to others.
To fix, save, or rescue them.
Yeah, and those might seem like cries for help, but they're often subtle, clear signs pointing towards that codependent dynamic we talked about.
Exactly. Your most powerful tools in this situation are practicing strong personal boundaries, maintaining emotional distance even if you feel sympathy.
And actively preventing them from extracting from your energy field, no matter how dramatic or pitiful their crisis seems.
Protect your peace. Protect your energy.
You know, the source material we explored had this really lovely closing thought. It reminds us, you are a luminous star.
I like that.
Just like a star shines brightest in the deepest darkness, your journey to understand these complex dynamics and to prioritize your own well-being above their chaos, that allows you to illuminate your own path forward.
Regardless of the manipulation or the storm happening around you.
So the final thought for you to maybe reflect on it, what does it mean for you to truly shine in your own right? To fully embrace your authentic self and protect your light, especially when you're navigating these incredibly challenging relationships.
How do you ensure you remain that luminous star?
This is your moment to illuminate your own unique constellation.